Mulcahy breaks back out here. And that's a very good response by Michael Jacob. He came across confidently onto it, took the loose ball himself to make it a point apiece. Wexford's first attack, far less wasteful than the men in red and white. Timmy McCarthy getting the stick to this one. Once again, it's Darragh Ryan, the crowd rising to him. Up towards Mitch Jordan. Mitch Jordan right across the field there, over towards Michael Jacob. The two Jacobs operating the left-hand side of the Wexford attack. Back to Liam Dunn. Plenty of time to compose himself. Great ball in. Nicely taken by the full forward, Paul Cobb. Great goal!
It's a lovely move, Ger. Lovely ball back by young Jacob. Back to Liam Dunn, and Liam Dunn placed a lovely ball in. Caught by Paul, caught in there and stuck in the back of the net. Very well played. Here we see it here. Young Jacob slips here, but he has the intelligence, tips the ball back to Liam Dunn. And no better man, an old head on him, has a look around and plays a beautiful low trajectory in. Comes in and up goes Cod. Catches it clean out of the sky. Mulcahy is beaten. Bang. Goalkeeper gets no chance.
It was a great finish by Paul Codd. He rifles it into the back of the net. Dermot O'Sullivan here, stumbling somewhat, still has the presence of mind to pick out a colleague, and Mulcahy rifles it away downfield. Here's Niall McCarthy, the centre-half forward for Cork, going on a run here against Declan Ruth. Oof, the Cork forwards not quite on the same wavelength as their centre-half. This is Doc O'Connor pressurised. Ben O'Connor stayed with him. Ben O'Connor trying to go through. Still has it. Dangerous one here. Guiney's out of the way. And the final shot comes from Joe Dean, and it raises a white flag. It's Cork's second point, and Dean the scorer of both.
Yeah, take this tough now, Ger. Wexford will be very happy. 2 attacks, 2 scores. Here's the score coming up from Cork. Ben O'Connor kept hustling and pushing. Satanta was free to far side for a hand pass. He gives it back to Joe Dean and bang over the bar.
Darren Stamp going back. Oh, takes it neatly, but then loses it to Timmy McCarthy. He'll stick to his task. Trying to set up chances inside towards Satanto Halpine. Won instead by Liam Dunn. Great reading of the game by Dunn. Shonogo Halpine against Adrian Fenlon did well to keep it in for Mitch Jordan. And Jordan strikes another one. Well, I may have given credit to Dermot O'Sullivan just moments ago for being firm on the full back line, but he's now surrendered 2 points in a row to Mitch Jordan, and it's 1-4 to 3 points.
Yeah, there's a great score as such. Finland just kept it in. Jordan got it in straight away, bang, left-handed over the bar.
That's 5 shots by Wexford, 5 scores. Down it goes towards Alan Brown, missed by Dave Guiney. Dave, the 33-year-old, kicked it away to Adrian Fenlon. But the early effort and energy being expended by Wexford. They're giving it everything in this opening half of the match. Dermot O'Sullivan. John Gardner here. Nice change of direction. He strikes it well. And it's inside the right-hand post and over.
Oh, Ger, that was a beautiful. He swiveled off one side, Ger. Beautiful. If any young fella's looking at this, there couldn't be a better example. He swiveled from, just goes on to, not a great line ball, gets it here now. Just look at the dummy here, swivels onto his left side and strikes it right. Beautiful stroke. That's a good 90 yards.
Wayne Sherlock breaks it down, can't hold on to it. It's Rory Jacob instead, turning beautifully, and he has the accuracy. That's a great score. We're seeing some wonderful points in this opening semi-final of the Guinness Championship. 1-6 to 6 points. Rory Jacobs' first point of the game, doing what his brother did earlier. Towards Satanta, breaks it to himself. Doc O'Connor is after him, unable to get the slitter away. However, it's Niall McCarthy once again tearing through here. Niall McCarthy with Satanta to his left, calling for it. Doc O'Connor there with the man also helping him out is Declan Ruth. Ruth trying to swing the stick, and the referee has blown the whistle, saying cool it down, lads. trying to end the stalemate. This is it once again, as he was coming forward. Watch for the challenge coming in, going by Doc O'Connor, and he caught him with the elbow.
Gerald, what's happening there? The crowd are reacting to it. They're looking at it on the screen, and the ref isn't looking at the screen as such. He has no action replay. Cork will feel hard done, but because Jodine got tumbled a while ago as well. No free for them, it's a throw-in.
And no yellow card. Referee hasn't seen it, crowd have. Wexford on the attack again, but repelled here by Ronan Kern. Niall McCarthy again collects well there against Declan Ruth. It'll have to be much, much tighter on McCarthy. Great stop! It's Henry once again at his best. 65. But Declan Ruth is going to have to keep a really close eye on Niall McCarthy, who's been getting to the left, getting to the right of him. And this time, the shot was brilliantly saved by Damien Fitzhenry. They've had a light breeze behind them in the first half, and the sun has gone down a little bit thanks to the clouds overhead. But there's a lot of work to do and a place to be won in this year's Guinness All-Ireland Hurling Final on the 14th of September.
Yeah, so far, every time that Cork have got a score, Wexford have tried it one as well. It'll be interesting to see how they work one here.
Fenlon. Oh, he strikes it beautifully. That's a masterful strike by Adrian Fenlon. His second point comes from a sideline cut, and it's 110 to 9 points.
Yeah, if it was worse to wager, he's usually very good from. That's a very tight angle as such. Beautiful stroke over the bar, and they go back to that 4 points gap again.
Drop back in here. Cork looking for a late goal at the end of the first half. And once again, it's Darragh Ryan, who's having a marvellous first half. Taking on Timmy McCarthy this time. McCarthy down swing the stick, but a partial blocking it by Darragh Ryan takes the sting out of it, and it breaks to Liam Dunn. That's a great clearance down towards Rory Jacob. Balances it on his stick, takes it into his hand. Taking on a couple of Cork players. Kicks ahead to Mitch Jordan. That is a wonderful point by Mitch Jordan, but it started back at the other end of the field, and Darragh Ryan was involved twice. It was great Wexford togetherness, a sense of collegiality about their play. But when this was won here by Rory Jacob, he kicked it ahead to Mitch Jordan, who finished in some style. Inside towards Satanto Halpine, and a little mix-up there results in Wexford winning it back. Dave Gunny trying to get it out. Alan Brown tigerishly trying to get it in. It's Doc O'Connor once again. And all of that is finished with a shot by Satanto Halpine that has gone over the crossbar, and it's a late point in the first half for Cork's number 13. So they're giving the same 15 who started the last match, the Munster final and the semi, an opportunity to turn it around here against a fiercely determined and very crafty Wexford team.
Yeah, Ger, Wexford are showing up the ante the whole time. They really have Cork upset. Liam Dunn went in centre back with a few minutes left in the first half because selectors felt that Niall McCarthy was getting on top of Declan Ruth.
Adrian Fenlon taking the sideline cut. Bit too far out to anticipate another point, but you never know. No, it's not. That is brilliant. An amazing sideline cut. 2 in a row for Fenlon.
Yeah, Jerry was 45 metres out there. You can never predict this fella. Was always very, very good at them, and that's a fantastic score. That should lift Wexford.
That is magnificent. Cork have switched Ben O'Connor into centre forward. Declan Ruth has picked him up, gone back into the centre half back position. Here's Niall McCarthy wearing number 11, back towards John Gardner. Good block there by Larry O'Gorman, took the sting out of it, but it still reaches Timmy McCarthy. Good block this time by Darren Stamp, comes back out towards Gardner. Third time of asking. He sweeps it high, accurately between the posts and over the bar. Even though there's a great score, Jerry, as such, like, you see all the blocking of the Wexford as they're putting their bodies on the line, they're diving in, blocked 3 times. Unlucky not to concede a score there. Wexford still very hopeful. But now they watch Mickey O'Connell advancing. First time he's come into the half of the Wexford team, and he's put it over the bar. Mickey O'Connell advancing with purpose and menace right through the heart of the Wexford team. And it's 114 to 13 points, and a score like that can rally a team and drive Cork forward. The next 10 minutes of this match could now be absolutely critical. A great individual score by the man from Middleton, out of favour after the 99 success, but now very much the man of the moment. Into space, Rory McCarthy going back there to try and take it up. And Mitch Jordan's there also, but not able to take the ball away from Sean O'Halpine, and it's going to be a free downfield for Cork. for the foul on O'Halpine. Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Big one. Drops in dangerously towards Alan Brown. O'Halpine, Satanta O'Halpine to take it, to kick, to score!
You could sense it coming, Ger. The wave of the tide was coming. Satanta leapt high into the sky, 6 or 7 foot into the air, turned around, and he showed his football prowess, kicking into the back of the net.
That's a goal and 2 points now for Satanta O'Halpine as Cork come within a point of the Slaney-siders from Diarmuid O'Sullivan's huge free in, grabbed gleefully by Satanta O'Halpine, and he kicks it in. His second ever goal in Championship hurling. Cork are back. Declan Ruth is beaten for it. O'Halpine against Satanta for Mickey O'Connor. Save, great save. Alan Brown's after it. Satanta O'Halpine was after it. Doc O'Connor is after it as well. They try to get it out. But this is the save by Damien Fitzhenry. They were all in after it. This bounces off the head of Declan Ruth. Swept out by Larry O'Gorman, out towards Adrian Fenlon, ready to take on Sean O'Halpine, who wins it back. O'Halpine, little tap forward there towards his brother Satanta. Satanta taking them all on. The challenge coming in from the backs. Joe Dean with a shot to fire it in, to fire it over, and to tie the teams up. Level for the second time. That's a 7th point for Joe Dean. Delighted Cork fans who've made the journey up here. And it's Cork 115, Wexford 115. And who's going to win it now? It went from one O'Halpine to another, and it finished with a Dean. Curran back into the inside forward line. There are big gaps now between Cork's inside forward line and half forward line, and the gap's being exploited by Ben O'Connor, and he's fired it over left-hand side. His first point of the match.
Gerald Parker coming like a steam engine. The trains might have stopped coming up from Mallow this morning, but they're on a roll here now.
Cork lead this match for the first time since the 5th minute of the game by 116 to 115. But the gap in space between Wexford's half-back line and full-back line, and Cork are in there to try and take full advantage. John Gardner, good dangerous ball in, seen all the way by Damien Fitzhenry. Not the longest of clearances. Ben O'Connor smothers it to Timmy McCarthy. Hurley's going in, nobody able to contain him, however, nobody able to stop him. It's Timmy McCarthy all the way. Doc O'Connor fumbling it away, comes towards Joe Dean, scoring chance for Joe Dean. A goal!
He's a wizard, Ger. He got one chance and he sticks it. Young fella should watch that. He has both sides, left and right, sticks it on the left. Great run by Timmy McCarthy.
Joe Dean is on a goal again.
You see it coming here, just picks it up. You think he's going to be stopped, goes back on his left and flashes it in. Damien Fitzhenry is unsighted, Ger, really. You can't see the ball at all.
Well, he took the maximum number of steps, certainly. When I watch it again here, as Timmy McCarthy is down there in need of attention, having made the incisive run through. But Joe Dean, who got a goal against Clare, got a goal against Waterford, and now one against Wexford in the semi-final. We were talking about a crucial 10-minute phase in the game. During that 10-minute phase, Cork really took a firm command. Dave Guiney knocking it way back down there. Larry Murphy trying to win the race for possession with Diarmuid O'Sullivan. He's done so. The hand pass into the clear. An opportunity for Mitch Jordan. Second chance and another goal! Mitch Jordan! 25 minutes gone in the second half. What a match! What a thrilling semi-final! Two between them once again. Wexford find their feet, gain in confidence, and it took the experience of Murphy to hold off the challenge. It came back to Mitch Jordan at the second time of asking. Watch as there was a little block in it the first time. Good work there by Tom Kenny, but back to a very assured Mitch Jordan. Here's Satanta O'Halpine. That's a huge one. And the umpires say absolutely spot on. A goal and 3 now for Satanta. What a warrior. 218 to 216. So many heroes on both sides this afternoon in a wonderful semi-final. They've had their nervous moments, but credit the great hurling as well they've displayed in very, very hot conditions. Mickey O'Connell sees that one come bouncing off the stick of Doc O'Connor. Doc firing it way back down to the forwards again, towards Mitch Jordan. On towards Larry Murphy, being urged on. Still Larry Murphy, he misses it. Dermot O'Sullivan hooked him the first time. Great defensive work by O'Sullivan. But it bounces out towards Rory Jacob. Comes back in here towards his brother Michael. And Wexford finish with a point. Michael Jacobs got a third. It gets better and better.
Yeah, Jerry, you're seeing some fantastic scores and some great hurling. Two very good teams, and they're making the ball do the work. It's anyone's game.
Because Martin was very slack on Jordan. Very slow to arrive in there. And he's off once again. Pat Mulcahy in trouble. Curran's in trouble. And Jordan's shot this time comes straight at goalkeeper Donald O'Cusack. And then he picks out the man in the corner here, who is Wayne Sherlock. Huge one down towards Niall McCarthy, over his head. Liam Dunn's lost the stick. Satanto Halpine has gained possession. Stumbles, almost falls. Good ball in towards Alan Brown. Now at full forward, remember. Waiting for somebody to take it from him. It's Niall McCarthy. 2:18 to 2:17. It's still Cork who lead. McCarthy getting it back here towards Jerry O'Connor. Great little work there by Darren Stamp, just to deny Cork momentarily, perhaps. John Gardner hitting it in and over.
That's John Gardner's third point, Jerry, from play. He's really, you know, he's picking off beautiful scores as such.
A minute to go now. We're in the added time, remember. 71 minutes played. Cork with possession to Alan Brown. Brown making an angle, making a shot and making a point! 2 points for Alan Brown, and that may be enough.
That could give them a breather.
Alan Brown's last point puts 3 between them. Between Fenlon and Ronan Curran. Tom Kenny coming to it. And here it is with Mitch Jordan fed ahead there to the man. A goal, and it's Rory McCarthy, they're level!
It's
what a comeback!
Fantastic score, Joe. Great ball. I'd say this is going to go to a replay.
And Rory McCarthy could be their saviour. He's tied it up at 2:20 for Cork, 3:17 for Wexford. They're level for the third time, and it's all over. It goes to a replay. The end of an absolute thriller. The fans on their feet, saluting two magnificent teams. It's been a wonderfully spirited and sporting match.
Wexford put up a very, very good show, and they hurled us off the field at stages. Now, having said that, I suppose we had our chances. We missed about 3 or 4 chances in a row that went wide. But having said that, I think it was a great game, a great spectacle. And all credit to Wexford, they never give up. But I said that during the week, you know, it was a 50-50 game. They never give up. At all times, you can't write them off. And I think maybe a draw was a fair result in the end.
They showed out there today the true character that this team of lads have. And, you know, again, that's what it's all about, you know, fellas digging deep, going right down to the guts for it. And that's what this team has, and you can't write that off.
I suppose there's 2 feelings, one of disappointment and again to the relief that we have the chance to come back up and, you know, get to the All-Ireland final the next day. It was always going to be a very difficult game for us, and I think Wexford came out and showed in the first half how good a team they are, and going in at half time we'd certainly settle for the result at full time.
Coming up today, we knew we had a great chance, and we really thought we were going to get to an All-Ireland final today. The element of surprise is gone now the next day, so you know, our backs are going to be against the wall now starting the next day. So.
Yeah, fantastic game of hurling there. Maybe a cliche to say that a draw was the fairest result, but that really was the case today. Replay next Saturday, Croke Park, 3:30. That's the way it's scheduled at the moment. Pete Finnerty, Michael Duignan here with me in studio. First of all, let's credit the game of hurling. It was one of the most enjoyable days I've had at Croke Park, I have to say.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can't remember enjoying the game of hurling as much. Maybe there's been better games, but I can't remember seeing one. It was absolutely brilliant. You had everything in the game. You had 5 brilliant goals. You had 528 of the total of 537 came from play, with Adrian Fennon's 2 line balls as well, which were outstanding. You had every player from 8 to 15 on both teams scored in the match, which is very unusual. And you just had everything. You had a last-minute equaliser. John Conlon was on there, but into it. He has to take credit. I saw him out in the field. There were 5 points behind. Looked dead and buried. Cork had, you know, were flying on all cylinders, and he went out and he roused, caught 1 or 2 players around the throat and said, "Come on, lads, this is not over." And they fought back, and you know, I think they deserved a draw. It would have been very hard neither team to go away without winning that game.
I was thinking to myself in the second half, I'd hate to be from either of the 2 counties, Pete Finnerty. I'd say they would die deaths kind of watching that match.
I'd say nobody left Croke Park, whether you're from the 2 counties or whether you're in youth. It was just a fantastic game of hurling, and credit to both teams. And draw was probably the fairest result, because nobody deserved deserve to lose after playing in a game. Mike has described everything that happened in the game, but the passion that Wexford played with it was incredible. We came up today, we expected that Cork were the team that were going to do it, but Wexford just turned on everything, and it was Cork that came back into the game, and then Wexford came back into it again, and the outcome wasn't decided until the last puck of the ball. And what more can you ask for?
You couldn't ask for an awful lot. But one thing that struck you at the game, and something you want to touch on, gentlemen, is, I suppose, the purple and golden oldies in this game.
Yeah, earlier on in the year we had written off most of the golden oldies, as we'll call them, the Larry O'Gormans and the Larry Murphys and the Liam Dunns. But in fairness, those were the guys that gave the leadership to Wexford today. Larry Murphy, we see him here with a fantastic point in the first half. And Wexford needed big men in big positions, and these are the lads that comes up from. Here we see Larry O'Gorman. He blocks a man down twice, and here we see Liam Dunn pucking the ball across the field, which results in a goal. We thought these guys, 30 years plus, including Dave Guiney, another guy 30 years plus, that were gotten past it. But in fairness, those were the guys that lifted the game to Cork. And we said Cork have only one guy 29 years of age. Everybody else is younger than that. We said hurling is this super fast game, and Cork were working to a drill beforehand. I think they were tired for the first 15 minutes. They did so much running. But hurling is about a game of passion, pride in the jersey, and that's what Wexford brought into the game today. Because at half-time against Kilkenny, they were 5 points down, or against Antrim, they were 5 points down, and they were beating Cork, the red-hot favourites, by 5 points at half-time today. And what's the difference? Passion, belief, pride in the jersey.
But I suppose also you could say the same thing about Cork today, because in the first half they were looking a bit befuddled in the game, and they had to go and actually find something in the second half, and they found it. Yeah,
Cork started the game very well. Now, they could have had 1-2 or 1-3 on the board before Wexford even got a chance, but they missed those chances and it seemed to unsettle them. And then Wexford played well the first half, but Cork only went in a few points down. But in the second half, they got into their stride, their running game. You know, that's what this Cork team is, very young, very mobile. And from midfield, like John Gardner scored 4 points from play from midfield. Mickey O'Connell started running with the ball. The two McCarthy's in the half forward, and Ben O'Connor got onto the ball a lot more in the second half, and you know, their full forward line ended up scoring something like 2-8 from play, which is a fair return. But the one thing about Wexford that I like is the change in the style of play. If you saw Liam Dunn's ball there to Paul Codd for the goal, that wasn't an accident. That was a diagonal ball. He looked up and picked him out. And they're playing more ground hurling, they're playing more direct hurling, and they're playing faster hurling. And you can see John Conran's print all over the team. And it's nice to see a team, you know, going away from their more traditional style of catching the ball and running with it, and going back to more what I would describe basic hurling, but it's working for them and they're playing very well.
Will they get over the line the next day?
They're on a roll, Wexford at the moment. One thing we have to comment on as well is the backdoor system. Cork were 6 weeks waiting, sitting ducks. Wexford had their homework done. They worked at midfield where Cork were weak the last time. They worked at the full forward line where Cork were weak. The element of surprise is gone for Wexford now. Cork will have benefit from this game, because I think up to last Tuesday they didn't have a full training panel together. It's down to the wire. 6 days to recover again for Wexford. It's going to be hard on the older players. Cork didn't play as well in the first half as they possibly can. When Cork are in full flow, it's very, very difficult to beat them. And Wexford have to work a full 70 minutes again. If Cork can play better in the first half, get closer to Wexford at half-time, lead at that stage, have the confidence, I think Cork will get over the line. OK, gentlemen, well, the scoreboard is blank for the next day, so they'll do it all again. Now, before we wrap up on this afternoon's All-Ireland Hurling semi-final, we come to our man of the match selection from that game. And the choice of our combined experts is Wexford forward Mitch Jordan. Well, on a day when several players were well in contention, Jordan had a goal and 3 points, but Wexford made a huge contribution from the first whistle to the last. But the point about it is, I suppose, Michael Dyton, in fairness, he will get the Galway International Crystal Trophy, but there were a lot of contenders.
There was, you know, everyone deserves huge credit. It was one of the best games of the team. It was also the hardest time, I think, to pick a man of the match. We went for Mitch Jordan. He scored 2 great points off Dermot O'Sullivan earlier on and early in the game. And Dermot, you know, when Wexford needed scores, Dermot O'Sullivan went in full back and had an outstanding second half at full back when he was away from Mitch Jordan. And then when Wexford were 5 points down, Cork looked like they were going to walk on top of them. Mitch Jordan was the one who scored a great goal to bring them back into the game, and he also had a hand in Rory McCarthy's last-minute goal, which was also a brilliant goal. And, you know, as you say, like, you had Liam Dunn, you had Darragh Ryan for Wexford, you had Satanto Halpine, Sean Ogo Halpine, John Gardner and Joe Dean for Cork. Any one of those, plus, you know, everyone had their own opinion. I was trying to get an opinion from ex-players and supporters up in the pitch, and you know, there was 10 or 11 lads could have got it.
Well, that's a mark of a good game, isn't it, when there are so many contenders. Gentlemen, thank you for the moment. Now, the minor game at Croke Park this afternoon was a Munster versus Connacht affair. Representing the West was Galway against the Southern Provincial champions Tipperary. Highlights from that game now with Micheál O'Shea and Marty Morrissey.